All right, hello English 150 students for fall 2020. Got my notes here, so I'll be looking at those occasionally. My name is Dr. Hopkins. Just as far as this video goes, I'm going to put these bars down at the bottom so you can kind of skip through and get to the parts a little bit more easily. Oh yeah, a quick YouTube trick. If you hit shift and then period or shift and comma, you can increase the speed of these videos. I recommend watching these videos at 2 times because I talk kind of slow, but there you go, quick tip to start. Okay, so you're in English 150 with me. The point of English 150, it's your first writing class in college, and supposedly we're supposed to set you up to be a perfect writer for the rest of your entire life. That's a lot of work to do in 14 weeks, but the main thing that we're focusing on for this class is to give you confidence when a teacher hands you a writing assignment, then that you can read that assignment sheet, know what you're supposed to do, and attack it with confidence and know that you have what it takes to get through that. To know your own personal kind of idiosyncrasies when it comes to writing, what are the obstacles that you typically run into, and help you develop some strategies for getting around them. That's kind of, for me, the main thing that you're going to get out of this class. Set you up for a lifetime of writing, because you are a writer, whether you want to be or not. You live in this world, and therefore you are a writer. Okay, so some nuts and bolts here. I have 2 sections of English 150. I teach a 9 a.m. class and a 2 a.m. class. And then each of those classes is divided by 3 because COVID is making us, we can't have more than 10 people in our classroom at a time. So I have a Monday at 9 group, Wednesday at 9 group, Friday at 9, and a Monday at 2, Wednesday at 2, Friday at 2, right? So my 2 sections are divided into 3. So you are at the same time a member of your day class, a member of the section of the class, and then a member of both of the sections of the same class that I teach. So hopefully things don't get confusing about that. I emailed you out when you're supposed to come to class. Check your inbox for that to know what day to come to class. You do not need to be in Zoom for the other class periods. That's something I forgot to say in the original email. You come to your class with me once a week, and that's the only time you have to come. There will be other assignments you have to do. You may have to meet with groups throughout the week and things like that to do projects or peer reviews or things like that. But your only physical obligation you have for coming to class is the assigned class that you have. Let's see. Okay, when you come to class, there's 2 major activities that we're going to do, and we'll explain these when you get there and you'll see them. Vote with your body and quote integration. In order to get points for them, you have to be in class. So attendance is mandatory, right? So with times of COVID, if you're sick, do not come to class. But if you aren't sick, you need to be in class. We only meet 1 hour once a week for 13 weeks, so missing any class is a big deal. So you want to be in class. The way I've incentivized that is that the in-class activities have points attached to them. You do not get those points if you don't come, and so just come to class. I think it'll be a good time. Okay. All right, so how to contact me. I use Canvas a lot. The main way I'm going to contact you is through the inbox on Canvas. So if this is your first semester and you're not used to Canvas, familiarize yourself with Inbox and make sure you're checking that quite a bit, quite often. There's also an app on your phone called Teacher that you can download where it'll give you a notification. If I send a message out to you or to the class, it'll just pop up on your phone so that, but keep in contact with that. I also send out emails every once in a while. It'll be rare if I do. Make sure you check that regularly. Or the other thing you can do is have your BYUI email forwarded to another email that you check regularly. Watch a YouTube tutorial about how to do that or something like that. Okay, my office hours. I'm not going to have physical office hours. I will have Zoom office hours. So I'm going to be available basically any time that I'm not in class teaching. Send me an email and we can meet anytime. And I'm available, but I do have in the syllabus listed some hours that I have where I'll just be there to do that. Okay, for my class, you do not have to buy a textbook. So if you went to the bookstore and you were confused about why you didn't have anything for English 150, it's because I don't have a textbook for you to buy. Everything I have is just free online, and so you don't have to worry about that. let's get into the major assignments that you're going to have for this semester. There's 3 big units for my class, which means 3 big papers that you have to write. So the first one is called a personal narrative. What you will do for this one, I've got an essay that I want you to read by Amy Tan. It's called Mother Tongue. I really enjoy this essay. And it's about how our language creates difficulties in our lives. The way that we speak at home is different than the way we speak at work, and sometimes they don't match up. Or if you're from a different country, or if you speak a different language as your first language, that causes difficulties when you try to speak English and things like that. So we're going to think about that, think about a time in your life. You'll be writing a story about a time in your life when your language didn't really work or correspond or created difficulties, and you're going to use Amy Tan's essay as kind of an entryway into that. You'll have to quote her essay and incorporate it into your personal narrative. That's project number 1. So you'll see that soon. The second assignment is a direct response essay, is what we're calling this one. So what I will do is I'll give you a packet that has a lot of different readings on the idea of truth. We have everything from conference talks to TED Talks to other videos you can watch to longer articles to articles about politics to articles about philosophy and about truth. So from those, you'll have to pick a certain number of the available readings or videos. You'll have to quote them in your article and respond to them, or in your essay, and respond to them, and then have that kind of come together as one cohesive idea about truth. We're going to work on class in that quote integration exercise that I talked about, so that's going to be a major part of teaching you how to do this essay. We'll practice that, and you'll see. And the way the packet works, you'll see when we get there, but you have to choose a certain number in order to get 20 points. Each essay is worth a different number of points. You'll see. We'll figure it out. It's pretty cool. The third essay, and this is one that students really like to do, and I do it every semester with my students, is the Change Something Up experiment. So for this one, you will choose something in your life that you'll either stop doing or start doing. You could start flossing. You could give up caffeine. You could start. There's all sorts of options. Those are 2 very boring options that people have done. But something that disrupts your life in some way for 21 days. You'll keep a journal about your experiences. Then you'll do research into what science has found about doing that thing in your life. And so you'll have primary research, which is you doing things, and secondary research, other people doing scientific studies about it and stuff. You'll combine all that together into one essay. It's a good time. People learn a lot. People grow as people. The only thing about this one is, though, the experiment, the 21 days that we're doing the thing, overlap with the direct response essay. So we'll be working on both essays at the same time in a way. But the timing of that, we'll work it all out. The experiment will end right before Thanksgiving break, and that's when you'll write the first draft of that essay. Okay, so those are the major assignments. Those are our 3 big ones. Each of these big major assignments we have is 1 unit, but you will turn in a first attempt of that halfway through. I will give you feedback. You will write a response letter to me about that feedback. Then you will write your final draft, turn that in, and that's what I grade. Everything else for the entire unit doesn't have a grade attached to it. You only get 1 grade for the whole unit, and I'll explain that grading system on the first day of class a little bit better, and it'll be in the assignment sheet as well. I guess at the end of the semester, you also will write a reflective essay at the end of the semester, or like a reflective project. But we'll talk about that at the end. That counts as a major assignment, but it's not that major. Okay, so the other minor assignments that you have now through the rest of the semester. You will do reading logs. 5 times this semester you will have to read something or watch videos or something and respond to it in some way. We're going to be using VoiceThread, but I'll also just have you do discussion posts, and you'll see VoiceThread when we get there. It's a little tricky to learn, but we'll understand when we get there. The second minor assignment that I'm going to have you do throughout the semester 4 times, we're going to do email etiquette scenarios. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a really awkward, difficult email scenario, and you have to write an email in order to address this situation that you're in your life. and then I'm going to critique you on how well you did writing that email. So we'll learn email etiquette, we'll learn what makes a good email, and all that kind of stuff. Another minor assignment you have is these response letters you write to my feedback about your paper. I will give you student examples of the papers that we are writing, and you'll need to critique them. That's another minor assignment. You'll do reflection assignments throughout the semester, thinking about what it was like. And then the vote with your body and quote integration, the two things that we will have in each class activity. And that's it. That's the whole semester. That's all the work that you have to do for the semester. If you notice, every single thing that you will do in my class has to do with reading or writing, and then me giving you feedback on your writing and you responding to that feedback. That's what we're going to do over and over and over, because that's how you become a better writer. Okay, so throughout the semester, periodically, I may call on you to meet with me through Zoom if I notice like you haven't been attending or your grade isn't where it should be or something like that. So you'll need to be available to meet with me through Zoom. These are face-to-face classes, so you can bring a laptop, but we will be in a computer classroom for my class. So if you're comfortable using the keyboards that other people have touched and stuff, maybe you want to bring disinfectant. I think the janitors are going to come through and clean the computers and stuff, but we want to be extra careful with COVID stuff. Speaking of which, there is some likelihood, we don't know how big of a likelihood, that at some point we will shut down campus and go remote again the way we did 2 semesters ago back in spring of 2020. That is a definite possibility. I hope it won't happen. Hopefully you guys are going to wash your hands and not go to parties and make out with strangers, and we'll all be safe and the virus won't spread, but there's a chance that it will. If that does happen, the transition into being remote isn't going to be that huge. We will start doing once a week Zoom meetings instead of once a week face-to-face meetings. And at that point, we might even just cut off the Monday, Wednesday, Friday system. I don't know. We'll have to make that decision when we get there. But hopefully we will never get there, and we'll just sail through the semester with the plan that we have. I will publish this on a YouTube channel. If you're into YouTube and you subscribe, you might consider subscribing to the channel so that this pops up in your feed whenever I make a video. Otherwise, watch for these in your email, and I'll put each of them in the announcements section on Canvas. Feel free and do not hesitate to ask me questions. I will answer any question. Even if you think it's stupid, it's probably not stupid. If you're thinking it, probably lots of people are thinking it. So keep that in mind. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Let's have a good semester.